Kelsley Nicole, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today's video is going to be for transitioners, those who are transitioning to being natural, those who are considering transitioning to being natural. I have some tips for you. I am now, I thought it was 7 years, but I think I'm going on 10 years post-relaxer, and it has been a challenging, fun, and interesting ride. I would not trade my curls for anything, but there are definitely things that I learned along the way, and there were definitely difficult moments. So I'm going to share some of these tips in hopes to help somebody who is in the process right now and just give you some hope, because I'm telling you, you can get your hair to the way that you want it to be if you stick with it. So before I get into some of the tips and such about transitioning, I did want to say this. Now, every single time somebody approaches me like, Kelsley, I want to transition to natural, I really want to try this, yada yada yada, I like to be honest. I don't want to deter you from transitioning. That's not what I'm about to say, but I will tell you it is challenging. And if you are probably in a space or a season of your life where you don't have the time to, I guess, invest in your hair more than you would when you were relaxed, I would say hold off on transitioning, or maybe just give your hair a little bit of a break from the relaxer and then go back to it. The main goal is you want to be sure that you are ready to transition, because you can kind of create further damage to your hair if you're not, if you don't have the time to put into your hair, to pay attention to your hair, to study what's happening, the changes, and give it the love that it needs. You might have been better off just relaxing it. So I just like to say that at the end of the day, do what's best for your hair, okay? Just wanted to put that in there before we get started. So I do have a list of things that I'm going to talk about, because I did ask a few people on Instagram and they gave me some questions. And we're just going to jump right in. So the first thing I would say is being mindful that it may seem obvious, but you are dealing with two different hair textures. I know that relaxed hair versus natural hair, they have different needs. There might be similar ones that overlap, but they have different needs. One being moisture. Your natural hair needs a lot more moisture than your relaxed hair needs. And it sometimes takes certain products to give it that moisture, because it needs to kind of penetrate your strand and the coils and the curls, whereas when it's straight, there ain't that many layers for the moisture to get through. So that is definitely something I had to pay attention to when I was transitioning. Listen to your hair, feel your hair. When she's talking to you saying this is not working, adjust, because I'm telling you, it's a very short turnaround time from, oh, my hair's kind of feeling a little different, to, oh my goodness, my hair's thinning and falling out. It's very short. So when you notice that something's happening or your hair needs something, adjust and give it what it needs. So I did a lot of research on my own, and the one thing that I was concerned for, and I think I would say if you're transitioning, you might want to look into as well, is products that work for relaxed hair. You want to look up a bunch of those, and then products that work for natural hair, and you want to see which ones overlap. I think, I know that some people, when they were relaxed, like to use natural hair products, and they were finding they weren't working. That's because there's different needs, and sometimes the products for natural hair are too heavy for your relaxed hair and end up just being counterproductive. So the two brands that I found and used worked very well for both my hair when it was relaxed and when it was natural was Jane Carter Solution, the original line, not the Curls to Go line, and then Design Essentials. Now I'll put which line it was, because I don't remember. But I was using both of those products when I was relaxed. That's actually how I was introduced to them. And then when I did some research and I was like looking for products with natural hair, those also popped up on the list online. So I was like, well, why not give it a try? They worked wonderfully. I could say that my hair grew at a steady pace when I was using both of them as I was transitioning, and they catered to both of the needs of my hair. I didn't really feel like I lost a lot of hair, like shedding was normal, but I think if you're not using a product that's catering to both, you might find that the relaxed hair is breaking off a lot quicker and you're not really able to maintain the length that you have. I will put a little, like, not disclaimer, but plug what I did, because I was my freshman year in college. I knew nothing about my natural hair, and I always had my mother's kind of backup or help with my hair when it was relaxed, because she has background a little bit in cosmetology. I was not ready to start doing twist outs, braid outs, bantu knots on my own. So for the first, for the first, I would say 6 to 8 months of me being natural, I straightened my hair, which is a thing you can do. Heat, yes, it can be damaging to your natural hair, but I think what is more damaging is you trying to figure out and messing up and maybe altering your texture because you're not caring for it the way that it needs to be cared for. So what I did is, I think it was every 1 to 2 weeks, I would wash my hair regularly with the Jane Carter or Design Essentials. I would blow dry it, and I would use the InStyler, not a flat iron. So I did use less heat to just keep my hair straight. And I would go throughout the week. I would comb it regularly. I wouldn't put it in a bun too much. I wouldn't manipulate that hair. I would just leave it out, and that worked for me. I did not lose a lot of hair when I was transitioning, and I did not big chop at all. And I just found that worked for what my hair needed. So I would say find what works for what your hair needed. If you're finding that braid outs is working for you, cool. But if you're finding maybe going to the hair salon like you normally did and just getting a blowout every once in a while is helping you, do that. do that, because I'm telling you, I found that some people had more of a challenge and lost more hair trying to just maybe think that they had to stay away from heat and do the normal route of what we're doing with natural hair, but that just ended up being counterproductive. So now that I mentioned that I did not big chop, I will say I did get trimmed regularly. I trimmed my hair. Now that I'm natural, I get my hair trimmed twice a year, and I'll get a shape up as needed, just to keep, I need one now, desperately, just to keep it in order. But I was trimming my hair every 4 to 6 weeks when I was transitioning, especially those first 6 months. I was not shy at saying, if the hair is dying, cut it off. That's my number one thing when it comes to just getting trims in general, because it's not going nowhere. Like it's literally, it's not helping you. And I honestly in my mind feel like, even though this obviously isn't true, but when the hair that's broken is not cut off, it is preventing the hair from continuing to grow down. That's what I tell myself. So I'm like, it needs to go so that hair can keep moving down. If not, it just stops here with the breakage hair and then the healthy hair, and it won't go past a certain point. I don't really think that's the truth. That's what I tell myself, because that's what convinced me that I needed to trim my hair. So if you decide that you don't want a big chop, just get trims. Just make sure that you're continuing maintenance with your hair, and don't be afraid of the scissors during this time, because at some points it's gonna have to get cut off. Whether it's little by little or all at once, you need to be cutting ends. I will say though, if you want a big chop, please do not do it yourself. I mean, I know there's a lot of people on here on YouTube, and it sometimes seems easy, but I've seen some horror stories. I know some people who had horror stories. Just get a friend to do it. Go to the hair salon and do it. You might not even be cutting off what you may be thinking is relaxed hair. Might just be a looser curl pattern coming in that area. My curl pattern changed a few times as I was transitioning into what it is now. So just have somebody else look at it. Okay? Have them help you out. That's just my thing. If you want a big chop, go ahead. Just don't do it yourself. I'm telling you, don't do it. Natural hair, there's volume, there's thickness. You have to make sure that you are moisturizing your hair. I can honestly say I had to get comfortable with being heavy-handed. Now, I'm not heavy-handed near my scalp, because that can lead to buildup and it can kind of block your pores. But I did become very heavy-handed on my hair. I was like, this feels like a lot of product, but let me go for it and see what happens. I would rather go a little bit more heavy-handed and have to deal with maybe, okay, next time let's cut back, than not giving my hair enough and then running into problems with dryness and matting, which I will explain now. My hair was matting a lot right here in the center, and that was happening mostly when I was slicking my hair back a lot. Now, I would slick my hair back just because it was easier, and at the time I still hadn't figured out my natural hair to the point where I knew what it wanted. But because of products like gel that sometimes have alcohol and the consistent slicking back, my hair would mat. So the matting sometimes is, again, I'm not a hairdresser, but I can tell you from my experience that my hair would mat a lot more when A, it wasn't moisturized, and B, I was doing a style for too long. Right now, where I'm at with my hair, I used to want to have a twist out that lasts 7 days, and sometimes it can, but I'm finding that on the 5th, 6th, 7th day, it's getting knotty and it's getting dry. Again, I think it's counterproductive. So cut that styling days down. I don't leave my hair slicked back without at least redoing it for more than 2 to 3 days. On the third day, I'm like, all right, if I want to continue this like slick back style, I'll take it down, I'll re-wet it, I'll detangle it, I'll moisturize it, and then I'll slick it back again. Because the consistent just styling of it and not detangling it, and it's also drying out, is going to lead your hair to matte. It's inevitable. Like if your hair is dry and you're not detangling it, it's gonna matte. So if that's your go-to style right now and you're finding that it's just easier to slick your hair back, that's fine. I would just be mindful of, in those in-between days or whatever, section the hair off again, detangle it, re-moisturize it. I feel like the moisture ratio to the gel, maybe alcohol-based product, should be like 3 to 1, or 2 to 1, but it definitely shouldn't be 1 to 1. It shouldn't be equal parts gel alcohol-based products and equal parts moisturizing products. I really think you should go heavier on the moisturizing. I found that that's what helped my hair, and in that season when it was drying out, that's what I had to do. I was like, look, you need more moisture, and I can't be compromising, like, you know, the way it looks for the actual health of my hair, which is also something I'm gonna tell you right now. You gotta get over with your natural hair. Like, I know we want to look put together, and that's fine, but there are gonna be some days where you have to say, okay, I can't do this cute style because it's actually damaging the health of my hair. It's part of the process. So in that same vein of kind of moisturizing and styling, I found that my hair grew the most even when I was transitioning, and even now it grows the fastest when I leave it alone. And what I mean is, I think protective styles are great. I think braids are great, twists, locks, crown braids, twists, however many protective styles you could get are great. But I do think it's good to go through seasons, especially when you're transitioning, of just leaving your hair alone. I don't care what anybody says. Even if it's a protective style and your hair is protected and covered from the environment and the things in the air, there is still a form of manipulation and pulling and tugging that's happening. Box braids, you're still manipulating, pulling, and tugging. And I will say that when your hair is transitioning, it's kind of like, you know, we say it's new growth. It's new, like a newborn or baby, whatever, however you want to compare it. You have to be gentle with it, and it's not at a point of like fortitude and strength where it can handle a lot of things. So it's fine if you want to go through, like, you know, I would go like maybe a month with box braids, but then I'd be like, okay, for this next month, I'm gonna find my go-to style and I'm gonna do it. And that has been twist outs. When I was transitioning, it was braid outs. I would be like, okay, I need to wash my hair weekly because that's what my hair needs. I'll do a braid out, let it be out. No high puff buns, no space buns, no regular buns, just let it be out. And then again, I would do the same thing next week, condition, shampoo, deep condition, braid out. And I did that consistently for at least a month when I was transitioning, and that's when I saw the most growth. I saw more growth there than I did in my protective style. Now this might be specific for my hair, it might be different from yours. You might find that you have more growth when it's protected, but I do think it's important to sometimes just leave your hair alone, in the sense of not always, you know, manipulating and pulling it, like putting under a wig or putting box braids or doing a crown braid. All of that stuff, especially when it's new growth and it's a little bit more fragile, can be damaging. And I found that for my hair, it was. I'm a product junkie. Being here on YouTube and being a natural hair YouTuber, you try a lot of products. It's just part of the process. But I will find that when I was transitioning, I tried to stay away from that. The constant changing of products is not beneficial, because it's not allowing that product to do its full job. Some products have a longer results timeline, and they need to be used consistently for you to see results. And B, it's confusing your hair, because you really can't even pinpoint at one point, if your hair just like drastically changed, you wouldn't even be able to pinpoint which product it was, because you've used like 20 products that month. Now I'm all for doing reviews, because I do them, but what I tend to do is I'll do a review if that product wows me to the point of no return, it now becomes a regular in my routine. If not, I just keep it, and I'm like, all right, when I want to do a twist out this day, I'll grab that product. But my shampoo, conditioner, and my leave-in are the same and are usually consistent with the same brand until I feel I need to change it to something else. I find that my hair was great with that. Another brand that I was using consistently when I was transitioning that worked was MIIX, and I did not deviate from that. Shampoo, conditioner, leave-in, deep conditioner. I think it was shampoo, leave-in, and the deep conditioner, because I don't know if they have regular conditioner. That's what I used, and that's what worked for me, and I wasn't trying to change it, because I think when you're just constantly switching products, especially again when you're transitioning, it's not really giving your hair a chance to adjust and take in whatever it needs from that product, because then you throw another one at it and it's kind of confusing. And my last tip or bit of advice when it's for those who are transitioning is to find a YouTuber, an influencer, a family member with similar hair texture. Now I know that could be hard because you're transitioning, you don't really know what your texture is like. But I think as I started to see my new growth, I could kind of tell, okay, my hair texture is not gonna be like Zendaya's. Zendaya has like loose wave curls. That's not gonna be me. So I had to find people here on YouTube that had similar hair, because, you know, the different like 2C hair, the 2-type hair, 3-type hair, 4-type hair. We also have different needs, and it's sometimes you find, not always, but someone with a similar hair texture or hair type is gonna have the same problems, the same needs that your hair is gonna have, and you'll be able to find products and styles that work for you just by watching their videos. For me, it was Bargain Princess. I don't know if she's still here on YouTube, but I'll put her in the description below. And also Alyssa Forever. I looked at their videos and found that their hair was similar to mine. Alyssa, maybe back then her hair type, I don't know what it's like now because I don't always see it, was similar. And then Bargain Princess just had thick hair. Those two combined literally like gave me all the styles I need. Bargain Princess always used to do braid outs with like a little roller on the end. That was my thing. That was my thing. That was my thing when I was transitioning. Like, braid outs just give so much definition, as I said in the last video. And because you're transitioning, your relaxed hair obviously is straight, I needed something to kind of make the two textures look a little bit more similar. So she would always have like a bunch of different braid out tutorials with different products. And I found that those work best for my hair. Once you get into a routine and you start to understand your hair, I'm telling you, you'll blink and it'll just be growing. It'll be like a love-love relationship instead of the love-hate that it starts out as. And you'll see the results that you want. I'm telling you right now, I'm very happy and grateful for where my hair is. We've come a long way in terms of length, but also in terms of health, the health of my hair, the texture. I don't have as much damage. I have some things I need to work on, but I find that my curls are more alive now than they were even a few years ago when I was still completely natural. It's changed again. And the last thing I'll leave you with is try to minimize expectations. I think when it comes to transitioning, I know that when I went into this, I had an idea of how I wanted my hair to look, like the texture, the type, whatever. And I think once I started to let go of that idea, I grew to love my hair so much more. My hair, transitioning to natural was not only just a fun thing for me to do, an exciting thing because I like my natural hair, it was also pivotal in just how I looked at myself, how I viewed myself, being more comfortable in who I am and what makes me instead of what I think society or even peers and family and friends might expect of me. My hair really helped me with that, because I'm telling you, when I was transitioning, I remember being in that place where it was like, people were like, oh, I really like your hair more when it was straight. And I had to decide in those moments, like, who am I doing this for? Like, am I doing this so that people can look at me and say, oh my God, your hair's so nice? Or am I doing this because I'm finding another side of me that I love, and I'm growing, and I'm learning more about myself? And yeah, it's just hair, but I'm telling you, for me, it was such a transformation just to see myself differently. I think this process has made me a little bit more, not careless, maybe carefree, and just embracing where my hair is. Some days it loves me and it does what I like, and other days it doesn't. I'm still gonna love it. I'm still gonna take care of it, and I hope that this helped some of you who are transitioning. If you have specific questions, again, I'll put the list of the products that helped me when I was transitioning, the styles, and some of the YouTubers that worked for me. But if you have any more questions, leave them for me in the comments below. I will gladly share, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video.